Yeah, the Vijay one. That's the one we did during solstice time.
Okay. And where's that one, the CD one?
Yeah, that's a great one too.
We can do that. Why not? While she runs here.
Yeah.
Okay. Namam Saram Satchit Anandarupa Yasatpunaram Yokulehana Yasodavio Lukhana
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande.
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande.
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande.
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande.
Manamahasya Madhukam Ataya Nijapada Pandanamakarande.
Manasa Madhukara Ataya Nijapada Pandanamakarande.
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande.
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande.
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande.
Krishna Deva
It's just a guide
Krishna Deva Hare
Hare
Together. Agyanam timirandasya Jnananashalakaya Chakshurumilitam jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Shabhaya Krishnaya Krishnabhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Yang Pravajantina Hetamapetaskrityam Dvaipayano Virahakastaruhajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Sarvobhedus Sarvabhutaridayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya vinina aparadakshay Chittasya kamadi tarangamadye Kripamaisvam Sharanam prapadyam Vrinde namaste charanarvindam Tavoivasmi na jivami tam vina Iti vigyaya radhe tam nayamam charanantike. Santi, can you kindly get my headphones upstairs? Thanks. So today, everyone is so welcome. Thank you for coming from far and wide. Today is a very auspicious day. It's many great saints, 3 great saints to be exact, Disappearance Day, and it's also the day that we're going to many holy places. We are situated here at the Giridhari Gaudiya Math at Govardhan, and from here we'll be going locally to purify our existence of wandering through 8,400,000 species for so many, since time immemorial, by touching the dust of the lotus places on our heads, eyelids, tongue, and heart. Is there a battery in there?
It's also really
Okay.
low.
We need new
But,
batteries.
Yeah.
So today is the auspicious Disappearance Day of Sri Gadadhar Das. This is not Gadadhar.
It works if you just like kind of kiss it.
This is not Gadadhar Pandit. This is Gadadhar Das. Gadadhar Das is a disciple of Sri Gadadhar Pandit, who is none but Srimati Radhika herself, appearing in a male form, as she is here on the altar, Subalsaka, dressed up as Subalsaka, and to teach Mahaprabhu, Krishna, in the form of Mahaprabhu. You didn't know that, Patita Pavana Prabhu? Today is Gopastami. Today a very interesting pastime happened. Sometimes Radharani's mother-in-law, Jatila, keeps her so controlled that she can't go out to meet with Krishna. She's always sneaking out, but sometimes her mother exerts too much control, mother-in-law. So Krishna devised a plan, and he sent his cowherd friend, Subalsaka, because he looks a lot like Radha. And he sent her to Radha's house to bring her. So when Jatila, Radharani's mother-in-law, she's always suspicious. Jatas, people wear dreadlocks. So she's always making into lots of knots everything that's very simple. So, very suspicious, she says to Subal, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "I'm just looking for my calf." "Oh, you expect to find your calf here?" "Yes, I don't know where he went." "Okay, go look." So he went in Radharani's house, and he told her about the great separation that Krishna is feeling. And then he traded clothes with Radharani. So then she came out wearing all of his clothes, turban and everything. So because she looks like Subal anyway, Jatila didn't notice that it was her, especially since she was carrying a calf covering her beautiful breasts. So he couldn't tell whether she was a girl or a boy. And so Jatila said, "Okay, you got your calf, now you can go." And so she went to meet with Krishna. So then when she got there, Krishna looked disappointed to see Subalsaka alone. And then Radharani said, "I'm sorry," she could not get out. And Krishna was about to faint in separation when she said, "Oh, it's me." So they had nice, loving pastimes together. So that's today. It's the one day that Radharani's lotus feet give us their darshan.
Today she's wearing a dhoti and a turban.
A dhoti, yeah.
Yeah.
A dhoti and turban, like Subal. Okay, so Sri Gadadhar Das is a disciple of Sri Gadadhar Pandit, who is none other than Radharani herself. I just want to mention, because you can see us moving around and switching microphones and everything. So the nature of this world is that it's constantly unpredictable. And if we know that, then we won't get upset. And if we expect predictability and don't get it, we'll be frustrated and upset. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that this material nature is endlessly mutable, and the universe is the cosmic form of the Lord. And I am that Lord seated in the hearts of all beings. So that's assuring. So, Gadadhar Das, we're going to find out who he is. He's a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit. And what does it mean that he's called Gadadhar Das? We're reading from Srila Bhakti Vallabh Tirtha Goswami Maharaj's fabulous, sensational book, Sri Chaitanya and His Associates. So this is a quote from Gauraganadesha Deepika by Sri Kavi Karnapur. She who, during Krishna's incarnation, was Chandrakanti, the manifestation of Radharani's opulence, has become Gadadhar Das by Gauranga's side. Balaram's beloved Purnananda has also entered into him for some special purpose. Now, Srila Bhakti Vallabh Tirtha Maharaj is quoting Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. This is very beautiful. And being his follower, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada's follower, our Prabhupada wrote the same thing in his Chaitanya Charitamrita purport. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur has made the following comments on Gadadhar Das. His identity in Krishna Lila. He is Srimati Radharani herself. Gadadhar Pandit is Srimati Radharani herself. So Gadadhar Das is the incarnation of her effulgence. Some readers of the Shastras think that because the jiva, us, the pure living entity, the spirit soul, is described as a ray of the effulgence of Krishna, that we don't have any personality yet. We get our personality later, but it's not intrinsic to us. But here we have the effulgence of Radharani, and he's a person. So we're also persons. In fact, this body's not the person. Dost thou work, dost thou beast. The real person is inside. Like if I have a glove, it's getting to that season where we'll be wearing gloves soon. Even here in Alachua, at least I will. Sandy won't. So, when my hand has a shape, my glove has a shape. If I take off my glove, it's just a flat blob. But we all have wonderful personalities in our Swarup or bodily luster of Srimati Radhika. He is that bodily luster who came covered by the bodily luster of Radha. So Gadadhar Das is that bodily luster. In the Gaura Ganadesha Deepika, it is said that he's a manifestation of her opulence, as we just read. He is counted amongst the followers of Gauranga and Nityananda Prabhu. So he relished the mood of conjugal love because he's a gopi in Goloka Vrindavan. And with Nityananda, he was in the mood of friendship. Although Gadadhar Das was an associate of Nityananda, his mood of friendship is not that of a coward boy, but it's in the conjugal mood. Katwa is the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. Gadadhar Das's home was in Aryadaha, a village situated 8 miles north of Calcutta, on the banks of the Bhagirathi River. After Mahaprabhu Aryadaha, in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidhana, it is said affairs. Oh, that was nice. After Mahaprabhu's disappearance, he was looking over their affairs. Sachimata is
Wasn't there also Ishan Thakur? Also
yeah,
known as
Ishan
Ramana
Thakur also, and Bangsi Vadana.
Mm-hmm.
Bangsi Vada Mata and Vishnu Priya, and Bangsi means flute.
stalwart Nadiavasis.
When they disappeared, he moved to Katwa, where he established the worship of Gauranga deity on the site where his samadhi was situated later. Just where Keshav Bharati gave Mahaprabhu sannyas. When Gadadhar heard that Mahaprabhu had arrived at Raghava Pandit's house, no, not this one too.
There's so many disappearance days today.
It sure is. Well, that was that.
I do.
That kind of stuff. Yeah, but if there's, I'd need,
You're about
they're not
the
digital,
microphone.
so they need to go. Maybe.
Yeah, oh yeah, this one, yeah, it has a plug. You can use that.
I'll have a look.
If you have a mic and oh wow. I think so.
So when Gadadhar heard that Mahaprabhu had arrived at Raghava Pandit's
Those are pretty
house,
dead. I mean, they
he
work
ran to
better
see
than
him.
nothing. She would have to
Gadadhar
right
is
into the-
extremely dear to
Yeah, it
Mahaprabhu.
works. I can
His
turn up
body
the
is
sound.
charged
I'm gonna turn
with
up
the
volume.
joy of devotion.
You might want to set that.
When the Lord saw the pious Gadadhar, he lifted his feet and placed it on his head. The mood of Radhika descended on Gadadhar Das, and he began to call, "Who will buy yogurt?" and burst out laughing. Krishna Das and Premeshwari both shouted Hari Bol, Hari Bol in the spirit of coward boys. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur writes in his commentary to this verse from Chaitanya Bhagavat, which is that in the mood of a gopi, Gadadhar Das had no consciousness of external reality. Imagine, that's what we want to come to, isn't it? No consciousness of external so-called reality. He constantly referred to himself as a gopi. So Srila Prabhupada commented that he didn't dress like a woman, just his mood was expressed internally enjoying the pastimes, while externally there was no need to make an external display. One day, Nityananda was in the audience at a performance of Krishna Dana Leela by Madhavananda Ghosh at the house of Gadadhar Das, and he went into a deep trance. For this reason, Gadadhar's house is also known as the place of the Dan Leela. That's when Krishna was taxing the gopis for their yogurt and butter. The Dan Leela is described elaborately in Rupa Goswami's Dan Keli Kumudi. Gadadhar Das's disappearance day, that's today, is on the 8th day of the waning moon of the month of Kartik. Srinivasacharya, it was Srinivasacharya who wrote the Sad Goswami Astakam, Vande Rupa Sanatano, that we sang earlier. So Srinivasacharya put on a huge festival on the occasion of Gadadhar Das's disappearance day, just like the one in Khetri, where there were thousands and thousands of devotees.
Did it just say that?
Huh?
It was that big?
Well, it says like the one at Khetri.
That's a huge festival.
That's a huge festival.
Maha Mahotsav Ki.
Well, it says he put on a huge festival.
Yeah. Maha Mahotsav.
This festival was greatly renowned. Well, he is Radharani's effulgence. This festival was greatly renowned throughout the Vaishnava community. And then the Bhakti Ratnakara, by another associate of Mahaprabhu, who internally is another gopi, Madhumati Gopi, that is Narahari Sagara, Sarakara. He said, what can I say about the Kartik Krishna Astami? My Prabhu, that is Gadadhar Das, disappeared here on that day. So Gadadhar Das's Samadhi tomb is situated on the grounds of Mahaprabhu Body temple in Katwa, the temple that he established.
Sorry, what? Where is this place?
Katwa? It's in Katwa, in Mahaprabhu Body temple, which he had established previously.
Right.
And if you all don't know, this lady who just walked in, she's the one who so brilliantly decorated and dressed the deities for this special day where Radharani is dressed as Subalsaka and carrying the calf. That's so amazing, Lalita. So Sri Gadadhar Das Prabhu ki jai. Tariya Tirobhav Titi Mahamahotsav ki jai. Actually, we're finding out here, it was Gadadhar Das who was trying to get the Qazi to chant. The Qazi is like a tyrannical Muslim king. Although the Qazi was by nature cruel, he laughed when Gadadhar Das requested him to chant Hare Krishna. He said, all right, I'll chant Hare Krishna tomorrow. Now go home. So Gadadhar Das danced jubilantly and said, what tomorrow? You have just uttered it today. Now that you have taken the name of Hari, you will never again know any inauspiciousness. The power of the pure devotee.
We're still talking about Gadadhar Das?
Yes. I just went back. I'm not reading everything because there's 2 more disappearance days today.
Technically 3, but...
3. Yeah, 2 more.
Well, no, I mean someone we know. He passed away. It'd be nice to say something about him if we get a chance.
Oh, that was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Yeah. Srila Gurudev's dear disciple, Giridhari Prabhu, the godbrother of many of you, and the son of my godbrother, Bharadraj Prabhu, he left yesterday.
Stalwart Brahmachari.
We have stalwart Brahmachari and we remember him affectionately and pray for his future success in bhakti. Today is also the disappearance day. So there's no other mic that...
But these mics are... I have a microphone that there's not the right input.
Oh, I see. It only works for a second. You tap it and then you speak and it's the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Batteries are very good. I think we just gotta buy more batteries.
We have to buy more batteries.
Yeah,
They finally just bought 4 new batteries.
rechargeables too.
Yeah, that's the text I just got.
So tomorrow.
Terrible.
So Srila Dhananjaya Pandit's disappearance day is today. Krishna's friend Vasudam became Dhananjaya Pandit in Gaura Lila.
I think the camera has stalled.
I'm sorry?
The camera looks like it's stalled.
It's red on this side, which
It's right.
usually means that it's on.
Okay.
Usually, Vasanti can, he can check in his phone. It's a major disappearance day today. So, many of Radharani's gopis, including her effulgence, came and participated in Chaitanya Lila as Mahaprabhu's and Nityananda Prabhu's associates. Now here we're seeing that Krishna's cowherd friends also came and became associates of Nityananda Prabhu, who is Balaram. So Dhananjaya Pandit is Krishna's friend.
We're good.
Vasudam.
We're live. Sorry, we're live.
Okay. Dhananjaya Pandit was Nityananda Prabhu's dear servant. He was very renounced and full of love for Krishna. Opinions vary about him, about his birthplace and his parentage. In the Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidhana,
Oh, for that?
It is said that he was born in the village of Jargam in Chittagong district on the 5th day of the waxing moon in the month of Chaitra, 1485. In the book Gauranga Madhuri, another version is given. Dhananjaya Pandit's primary home was in the village of Sheetkalagram, which he served by the Kaichura post office in the precinct of Mangal Khat. He was married and his wife's name was Hari Priya. It is also mentioned that he would prostrate himself in obeisances before Tulsi Devi 3 times a day. Even though he was married when very young, that didn't stop him from leaving on a pilgrimage shortly after his wedding. His wealthy father gave him money for traveling expenses, but he gave it all to Mahaprabhu and carried only a begging bowl. This particular action has been recalled by the author of Vaishnava Vandana. His main home was in Shitala Gram. The deities of Gopinath, Nitai Gauranga, and Damodar worshipped by him are still being served there. He participated for a few days with Mahaprabhu in his Sankirtan pastimes in Navadvip. From there he returned to Shitalagram, whence he went on pilgrimage to Vrindavan. Before traveling to Vrindavan, he stayed for a few days in Sanchara Panchara, leaving a disciple who was traveling with him in charge of the deity service. At present there is no further sign of this temple. Nityananda Prabhu delivered the most fallen and crushed the atheistic. These powers were manifest in his dear devotee Dhananjaya. In other words, he was able to deliver the most fallen miscreants, atheists, debauchees, meat-eaters, and to crush the atheists means he was delivering the atheists too. Because even Nityananda, even when atheists tried to kill him, he punished them and then showed them mercy. Dhananjaya Pandit converted many robbers and atheists in the Sheetalgram area. He was an extraordinarily great Vaishnava. This is stated in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, and Nityananda Prabhu took permanent residence in his heart. So Sri Dhananjaya Pandit Prabhu Ki Jai. We can remember him when we read or hear about Krishna's cowherding pastimes. Hare Krishna, Krishna.
The Bible says you can hear me fine now.
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
In the stream, everyone says they can hear you fine.
Okay, great.
So,
The only problem is I have to shout.
you don't have to shout. Just speak regularly.
So now, today is also the disappearance day of Srinivasa Acharya, and we will hear about him from a lecture by Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj. Santi, you have that?
Mm-hmm.
Can we hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Apologies, working very slow.
Hmm?
Okay. The disappearance day of Srinivasa Acharya. Srivartamara spoke this. It's a combination of May lectures from 2014 and 2017. Okay. So he's spoken on the appearance day. By worldly considerations, he was born in the Bardhaman district in the village of Chikundi. When his father, Chaitanya Das, was desirous of a son, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessed him, "Whatever you have desired, it will be fulfilled." And Srinivasa appeared as his son. Srinivasa Acharya went to Navadvip, where he performed Navadvip Dham Parikrama under the guidance of Ishan Thakur. However, for whichever exalted Vaishnava he desired to meet with, that Vaishnava would have left this world before Srinivasa Acharya could reach there. At last, he was able to meet with Gadadhar Pandit. First, when he went to ask for Srimad Bhagavatam, he noticed that the book was fully washed away with Gadadhar Pandit's tears, and hence it was not legible. He went to another place only to discover that the other copy was also in the same condition. So he returned to Puri, but by that time Gadadhar Pandit too had left his body. Next he approached Abhiram Thakur, who had a whip called Jai Mandala. Whomever he used to beat with his whip would be blessed with Krishna praying. He hit Srinivasa Acharya twice before his wife stopped him, saying, "He's just a small child. He won't be able to tolerate so much Krishna praying." Srinivasa Acharya then went to Vrindavan and studied all the sastras under the tutelage of Sri Jiva Goswami. His companions were Narottam and Shyamananda. After the study was completed, Jiva Goswami, on behalf of the Vaishnava Raj Sabha, awarded the name Acharya to Srinivas. Duki Krishnadas got the name Shyamananda, while Narottam received the name Thakur Mahasaya. Together they performed Raj Mandal Parikrama while visiting all the pastime places. Later, loading all the Vaishnava literature onto a bullock cart, Jiva Goswami sent all three of them to Bengal to preach and make copies of the books. Srinivasa Acharya was appointed to be in charge of this. On the way, they would take turns remaining awake at night to guard the literature. Finally, they reached the Hindu town of Vishnupur, where the king was Virahangvir. Oh, he has a Vishwa Samadhi in Radha
Mm-hmm. He's the one that stole the
He
books.
stole the books, yeah.
But he was told that it was a priceless treasure.
I'm here right now.
Says, "I want it."
They presumed that they could relax the vigilance as they didn't expect any danger from thieves or dacoits. They all slept at night thinking, "Here the scriptures won't be stolen." But as luck would have it, the king had an astrologer who calculated and said, "A priceless treasure is passing through your kingdom." So the king sent some thieves to loot the treasure, but warned against killing anyone. Observing all three sound asleep, the thieves took away the box of scriptures without any ado, but later when they opened the box, they discovered only scriptures. Unsure if these scriptures could be of any use to them, the king kept them aside. When Narottam, Shyamananda, and Srinivas woke up, they realized that the books had been stolen. Grief-stricken, Srinivasa Acharya felt great repentance, thinking, "My Guru Varga dispatched me with this responsibility and I let them down by sleeping out of laziness." Srinivasa Acharya was actually Gopal Bhatta Goswami's disciple, but since he had studied the sastras under the guidance of Jiva Goswami, he considered Jiva Goswami to be his guru as well. He resolved, "I will not leave this place unless the stolen scriptures are recovered. It will certainly be good if I find the scriptures, otherwise I will simply leave my body in this very place." He decided to remain there while instructing Narottam and Shyamananda, "Preach whatever you have learned through the medium of kirtan." Narottam Thakur preached in North Bengal. He would sing in the Garnahati melody, and Shyamananda preached in South Bengal, and Arissa in the Rainati melody, while Srinivasa Acharya remained in Vishnupur. He also preached via kirtan using the Manohar Shahi melody. All of them preached in different melodies. Srinivasa
preached in different melodies?
Yeah.
So I mean, they're just singing, they're in kirtan when they say preaching?
Yeah.
Or speaking, Parikrama.
Well, you know, when Gurudev speaks, he also quotes so many verses and he sings it in melodies.
Uh-huh.
I think the best example in Gurudev's family would be Kanai Prabhu, if anyone remembers Kanai Prabhu. His style was that without stopping the kirtan, he would do monologues during the kirtan that explained it.
Srinivasa Acharya was preaching in Vishnupur. Every day in the Sabha there was a recitation of Bhagavat. As long as he was hearing the Bhagavat, he would cry, thinking, although my Guru Varga entrusted these books to me, they got stolen. Upon hearing the Harikatha of Srinivasa Acharya, King Virhamvir became his disciple. Observing that whenever Srinivasa Acharya used to start speaking Katha, he would burst into tears. The king asked him, Guruji, why do you cry? Srinivasa Acharya replied, I am so unfortunate that my Guru Varga entrusted the responsibility of the invaluable books they had written upon me, but the books got stolen. Hearing this, Virhamvir brought the box and opened it to show the books. Seeing them intact, Srinivasa Acharya felt a wave of relief and immediately sent word to Vrindavan with the news about the recovery of the books. Earlier, Srila Kaviraj Goswami had become worried, thinking that the Chaitanya Charitamrita book had disappeared from this world, but he got pacified when his servant informed him that he had made a copy of it before dispatching the original. In the meantime, he heard that Srinivasa Acharya had recovered all the scriptures and became happy. Srinivasa Acharya established the Madan Mohan deity, and it still remains there. When the kingdom was attacked, Madan Mohan blew the enemy away with a cannon. Wow.
With a cannon?
Yeah. Named Dal Mando.
Where was this at exactly? What kingdom is this in this area? What region was this?
Vishnupur.
Oh, it's in South India. And they had a cannon. So when the Muslims came, the deity manifested a cannon and then just blew
them away.
Wow.
The cannon's name is Dal Mandala.
Wow.
Even now, people go there to see that cannon.
Dal Mandala.
From Srinivasa Acharya's specific succession came the pujaris of Gopinath, Madan Mohan, Govinda, Damodar, and all of other deities also. That is why even today in Jaipur you'll observe that all pujaris are Gaudiya. This is all due to the mercy of Srinivasa Acharya. Even the pujaris of Madan Mohan and Karali are Gaudiyas, and the root of this is Srinivasa Acharya. The Sakoswami Astakam was composed by Srinivasa Acharya. He has brilliantly described the life history of the Goswamis in this Astakam, describing how they spent their days and so on. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro Preman Ritam Mo Nadi. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are always engaged in chanting the holy name of Krishna and dancing. Later in the Astakam, he also mentions how the Goswamis wandered around Braj, experiencing the pangs of separation. Hey Radhe Rajdevi Ke Chandalite, Hey Nanda Suno Puja. Crying out to Srimati Radharani, saying, Hey Radhe Rajdevi Ke, where are you? Are you in a forest on the banks of Jamuna? Are you near Radhakund? Where can I find you? Like this, they searched in a mood of Maha Vivala. Everything has been revealed in this Astakam. Srinivasa Acharya ki.
How do you spell it? Just the okay.
Is it possible, I'm going to start, we're going to go now on Parikrama.
Yeah.
Can you also look up Gopastami? See if Gurudev really spoke about it. So now we're leaving Giridhari Gaudiya Math at Govardhan.
Everyone get on board your buses.
It's walking day.
Oh, it's walking day.
Oh, I'm not
Which Gurudev conceived from his heart.
Okay, book your rickshaw.
That's good.
and which turned into a big temple, housing over 1,000 devotees. So we're walking today to various pastime places, and first we want to go to Ratna Singhasana. So the other day we visited Kusham Shirovara. I don't need that.
No.
It's a weird mic and you have to do all kinds of things. Thank you though. Where Radha and Krishna performed their flower pastimes. You remember what happened, don't you? Krishna knew that Radharani was coming to pick flowers, and he decided to play a loving joke on her. So he sat on one big branch of the tree, and he made sure that he was covered by lots of foliage. And then, sure enough, she went to the sub-branches of that big branch and started picking flowers, holding onto the branch with one hand and picking flowers with the other. So while she did that, while she was holding on, Krishna jumped off that big branch, jumped down to the ground, and she flew up because there was no more force down. And then when he was on the ground, she was expressing her fear, save me, save me. So he held on to her to bring her down to the ground softly. And everybody, all the gopis laughed and clapped, but she was upset. Kusham Sarovara is also the place where Uddhava from Mathura and Dwarka received the fulfillment of his desire to become grass and shrubs in Vrindavan. So we can see him there in that form. Because he's not qualified to be looking like a human. Because he didn't pass the test of remaining in Vrindavan. The gopis tested him and he failed. So Ratna Singhasana lies 1 mile south of Kushama Sarovara on the Govardhan Parikrama path coming from Sri Radha Kund. The following pastime took place here. One full moon day after Shiva Chaturdasi, Sri Krishna, Sri Balaram, and the gopis were playing Holi. You all know what Holi is, right? You throw colored dyes and colored powders and you squirt it from syringes. Because that was a rare time when the gopis and the gopas, coward girls and coward boys, could play together. Because it's like family fun, community fun. So Balaram and the gopis were playing Holi, squirting each other with bright dye from long water syringes. The sweet music of drums, cymbals, venas, and other instruments filled the air with melodious ragas, like the springtime raga. Do you know ragas? Nearby, Srimati Radhika sat upon a jeweled throne called Ratna Singhasana. Ratna is jewel, Singhasana is throne. At that time, a follower of Kuvera named Sankachuda, a demon, who considered Bhagavan Sri Krishna to be an ordinary human being, tried to abduct these beautiful gopis. With voices full of distress, the gopis cried out, "Ram! Krishna!" Krishna ran to their call and killed Sankachuda. He took the jewel from the demon's forehead and gave it to Balaram. He wanted to actually give it to Radharani, But then he thought the other gopis might be jealous. So he gave it to Balaram, knowing, is it different? Hello, hello. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Doesn't seem different.
It's different. You hear it less.
Yeah, okay. So he knew what Balaram would do with it. So Balaram gave it to Madhu Mangal, and another instance, Balaram gave it to Dhanistha, who gave it to Radharani. So this is the Shamantaka jewel, which became a very famous friend of Krishna's Kaustubha jewel. And they would dance together when Radha and Krishna were enjoying their amorous pastimes. I'm not going to explain that further. This is the place where Radhika sat on the jewel throne. And here is Krishna's footprints on that Ratna Singhasana. So we can all put our heads into the dust of this Krishna's footprint, put the dust on our head, eyelids, tongue, and heart, and pray that we can actually visualize in our spiritual bodies, in our spiritual trance, Krishna's footprints all over Vrindavan. Now we're walking a bit to Gwala Pokhara. And here is here's the pond at Gwala Pokhara. You can all perform Achman now. I can't let go. You can all perform Achman and put the water in our heads, eyelids, tongue, and heart. And dip into the pond. 1, 2, 3. Dry off, and here we are again. So beautiful fig trees, do you see them? Beautiful fig trees and creepers surround this charming pastime place near Shamakuti. When Sri Krishna herd the cows, he used to rest here at noon. The young cowherd boys, Gwal Balas. Bala means a young boy, and Gwala means cowherd boys, lovingly served him in the mellow of friendship. And they all playfully snatched things from each other. You know how kids do with each other? They snatch from somebody else and they run away, and then the person who got snatched from runs after them. These and other sweet pastimes have made this Gwala Pokhara, famous.
Pokhara means kund.
So Gwala Pokhara, Gwala Kund, ki jai.
Jai.
Now we're running barefoot and getting the dust of Vrindavan all over us. Every particle of dust is ras. What is ras? What was enjoyed by Radharani and what was enjoyed by Krishna in their pastimes with each other and their associates is ras. So every particle of dust is that ras, and every particle of dust is Balaram. Just as in this world, in every atom is Paramatma, the Lord as the Supersoul. So there, every atom is the source of Paramatma, that is Balaram himself.
May I have a question?
Yeah.
How is it said that when we go there, we can be like a particle of dust, if it's Balaram?
No, we don't want to be particles of dust.
No, but we can be. If we want.
No, we can't.
No? I have.
No. We can't be the dust of Vrindavan, because the dust of Vrindavan is made of another energy. It's Sandini potency. And it's already there. As much of it is going to be there is there. So, and Gurudev said, it's in my memoir, that's how I remember it. He said, we don't want to be that dust. We want to take shelter of that dust and taste the rust of the dust.
Because everything there is sentient.
Everything is sentient. Yes.
Yeah. And
But
the
it's not
trees
that-
and the trees and we can be there too. The tree, the fruits, wherever things. I've heard that. It's not true.
Well, the trees are in, unlike the trees in Vaikuntha, which are in Shantaras, that is Shantaras, they're there for service, like if you want to pick a fruit from it, or if the Lord wants to pick a fruit from the tree. But in Vrindavan, there's no Shantaras. There's no neutrality there. Everyone is in unlimited rapture. So the trees there, they shed tears in the form of honey, or their sap is really tears in their honey. And they're somewhat in a friendship mood with Krishna, because Krishna jumps on them and climbs them like a friend. And also the creepers around the trees, Gurudev explained that they're somewhat in they have a conjugal bhav, because when the gopis were looking for Krishna, when he disappeared during the rasa dance, the gopis were asking everybody, the trees, the creepers, the deer, the tulsi plant, have you seen Krishna? Which way did he go? And nobody was answering. And they invented all these reasons why different personalities weren't answering. Well, the trees, they're males, so of course they're not going to help us out. And then they were asking the creepers, and the creepers were in full bloom. So they said, oh, I know why the creepers didn't answer, because when Krishna passed by here, he touched them. And so they bursted into bloom, and they became so shy. So they can't answer us right now. They're too much in that shy trance. So yeah, they're not ordinary trees, but anyone can enter into any of the rasas if that's your swarup, but it's not that we will desire that and it will happen. Like, suppose today you're hearing about the dust. Hey, I'd like to be dust. It's not like that. Every jiva, every soul, has a constitutional form, or a swarup, which means constitutional nature, which is inherent now, but as a seed, but which when it receives the touch of Krishna's Swarup Shakti by constant sadhana and the mercy of Guru, then that Swarup Shakti, that spiritual potency of Krishna, touches that seed that's already there, and then that constitutional form that's already there, whatever your relationship is, whatever your hands and feet look like, is already there as a potency in seed. And then that develops its full-fledged feature at that advancement. So there's no particular living entity who's in dust. But as far as trees and creepers go, I don't know if living entities can become those. I mean, or if they're just part of that Sandini potency. Because, like Vrindadevi manifests Vrindavan, Balaram manifests Vrindavan, Balaram manifests Govardhan. Govardhan comes from the heart of Radha. So if anybody knows already or wants to find out, and then let us know, if any jiva can have that tree, wouldn't be a fruit, it would be a whole tree, in their constitution, as their constitutional form, then please let us know. I've never heard of that. But Gurudev said that most of the people who come into Mahaprabhu's movement is in the mood of maidservant of Srimati Radhika. If somebody is not, he gives the example in 1991 in his talks on Valapakus Manjali. He said that suppose somebody is by constitution a Ram Bhakta, Lord Ram. And he comes to a Gaudiya Vaishnava guru, and he'll get general bhakti there. You just come up in a general way. Then when he reaches a certain point of advancement, he may get the Gopal mantra also from that Gaudiya guru, because the Gopal mantra can be for different rasas. But it includes all the dasas. So when he comes to a certain point by chanting and executing his devotional services, and it's time for him to know and cultivate his particular relationship, then Krishna picks him up and puts him in Ayodhya, and he gets a pure Ram Bhakti Guru and completes his course. But generally those who come to Mahaprabhu's mission are in that conjugal mellow of maid service to Srimati Radhika. Is that all right, or you have a further question?
Yeah, I can ask later.
All right, and if you say you've heard that, then if you can dredge your memory and research where, we'd love to see that. Yes, Prabhu.
Was there any time where Srila Gurudev or Srila Prabhupada had said that, like, one of his disciples or one of their followers, okay, this devotee is actually in this mood, not really, and is there any time that you recall hearing that?
So Murti Prabhu is asking if at any time Srila Gurudev or Prabhupada has said, oh, you're not in this manjari mood, you're in another mood. Is that your question?
like us, and maybe sent them somewhere, or right?
Well, I don't know everything either of them said, but one thing I do know is he has a disciple in Houston named Vinodini, and she's always been a Ram Bhakta. Her and her husband very devout. So Gurudev would give his normal Manjari lectures and regular Gaudiya lectures, but at the same time he initiated her into the Ram mantra. So that was one example.
Okay.
Oh.
Would there also be, I forget the name of him now, but we went to go and see his Samadhi on Hanuman Jayanti in Mayapur, an associate of Mahaprabhu who was enamored with Ram and Hanuman.
So you're speaking about Murari Gupta?
Murari Gupta, would that be an example of the same?
Well, Murari Gupta was already in his perfectional stage. He's already Hanuman, he's already Uttama Bhakta, and he's playing the role of a sadhak, just like the rest of Mahaprabhu's associates. So Mahaprabhu tried to convince him to become attracted to the sweetness of Krishna, but he couldn't. Even though he's God himself, still what happened was, because Murari Gupta wanted to be submissive, he was submissive, and then the next morning he told Mahaprabhu, I think I have to kill myself because I can't leave my Ram and I can't disobey your order. In fact, he had this big knife ready for that. And Mahaprabhu came to his house and he said, I know you have that knife, give it to me. And then Mahaprabhu embraced him and said, I'm so happy about your staunch devotion to Ram. So really Ram knew that all the time. It's not that, I'm sorry, Lord Chaitanya knew that all the time, and it was just like a pastime to show us a couple of things. It showed us the glory of the associate of the Lord, how staunch he is, and also it shows us that if one's swarup can't change by association, even by the association of God. Gop Kumar, how much time do I have? Jagadish Prabhu? Jagadish, how much time do we have?
5 minutes more.
Okay. Could you let me know ahead of time so I'm not in the middle of a sentence?
It's okay, no problem.
All right, thanks. Okay, so where are we?
You did talk about a couple of things that would
Oh
make
yeah,
it show-
so the other thing that it shows is that no one's swarup can be changed, either if you're already in your perfectional stage or not. You may be swayed temporarily, because in the conditioned soul we're swayed by anything and everything anyway. So by tradition, family tradition, or just by some association or impressions that I've received, I may be attracted to a relationship with Krishna by the influence of a strong devotee of that rasa. I may become inclined that way, but I can never become that. Eventually, as I advance, I'll have to get the connection with that guru who's an ocean of the how does Gurudev say it? The ocean of the mood for which I aspire. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
That
that
answers
makes
it?
sense. And was that also the case for Gurudev himself?
Well, Gurudev descended. He was never a conditioned soul, is our conviction. But like, he was more or less like, played the role of, I need another 7 to 10.
I was just gonna say to speak till 12:40.
Oh, thank you very much.
12:45 even.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. So, again, I forgot. Gurudev, right. So, like, let's take the example, because here's the example of Gopal Bhatta and his family, Venkata Bhatta and Prabodhananda Saraswati. They are all gopis from Goloka Vrindavan, and they descended to associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to assist in his pastimes, and to write, and to preach. So by tradition, they played the role of Lakshmi Narayan worshippers. So Mahaprabhu was able to convert them very easily just by a few days of visit and joking with them. They changed, quote unquote changed, whereas Murari Gupta couldn't change. Why? Because Murari Gupta was by constitution a Ram Bhakta Hanuman, the best of the Ram Bhaktas. And by constitution, the family of Gopal Bhatta was gopis and manjaris. So therefore, when Mahaprabhu told them, who were playing the role of Lakshmi Narayan worshippers by tradition, they were easy to be changed. So that shows that association cannot change one's constitutional position or original ras, but association can manifest and develop it, as in the case of Gopal Bhatta's family. Is that clear? So regarding Gurudev, because you asked about Gurudev. No, I'm boiling. So in the case of Gurudev, we are of the conviction that he was never a conditioned soul at any time in his life. But he played the role, by tradition, by family tradition, of a Ram Bhakta. In fact, in his autobiography of just the first years of his life, which we printed in a little booklet called Impressions of Bhakti, he explains that when he was 4 years old, he got a darshan of Sita, Ram, Hanuman, and Lakshman descending in an airplane, and then they gave him their darshan. So then by the association of one of his Gurudev, Param Gurudev, our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan, Keshav Goswami Maharaj's disciples, that is Narottam-Ananda at that time, he came to Gurudev's business or house and converted him. And then he surrendered to his Gurudev. So what was that supposed to be an example of? So that's just an example.
That was because it's something
That's an
different.
example
It's not a condition.
like Gopal Bhatta and his family.
Also, yeah, in that sense, also Lakshmi Narayan, Sitaram worshippers. And then
And
Yes,
al-
more.
And you could say it's almost an example of the Swarup not changing, but sort of vice versa, and then that was the inherent Swarup in and so even being born into that
Yeah, it couldn't
society
stay.
yeah, exactly.
Right. Murti Prabhu.
I have a question about like Bhishma Dev, because in his prayers when he's laying, or when he's glorifying Krishna, and when he's laying in bed in all one of us, he's glorifying Krishna with the gopis, so he has some attraction or some idea, but that's not his mood, right? Like that's like, even though he can see that's the highest, he has his own like mood. So what is his mood? Like, is he not then?
He's in Dasyaras,
Dasyaras,
Krishna.
okay.
And he appreciates Krishna with the gopis. Just like Mother Yasoda. Her rasa, her staibhav is Vatsalya Bhav. I'm the mother of Krishna. That will never change, and she'll never be envious of any other's relationship. So she knows that Krishna loves Radharani the best. But she's not thinking, I want to be like Radharani.
Yeah, right.
Is that?
Yeah,
that's it?
right.
So we have another place to go, which is, where is that? There was one place in, did we go to, where is that other place? We can go to one more place, which is Narada Kund. We actually went to a few days ago.
I have
Ratnavedi we went to, Shamatalya, yes,
also Syamarani.
yes.
I have a movie of Gurudev in Nandagown, but the Nandagown is on the schedule for tomorrow,
Yeah,
and it's supposed to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be today. So do you want to show the movie today? Or
today,
tomorrow?
go ahead, we have 15 minutes.
You wanna show the last one?
Yeah, so here we are. Very quickly, let's run, let's fly. Pray to Hanuman and fly to Shamatalaya. And here, yeah.
No, where is it?
Well, it says that it's in Bandiravan, but it says it's today. Sometimes forests are very close, like the border. Forests are very close to each other. So here we are at Shamatalaya. Let's hug that tree and roll in the dust. This pond, Talaya, so pond means Pokhara, Talaya, Sarovara, is situated near Bamsibat. When the gopis became thirsty during Ras, Sri Syamasundar made this pond with his flute and satisfied all the gopis with his flute and its luscious water, with its luscious water. Nowadays, this pond lies in completely dilapidated condition with very little water, but still, people take Achman here with faith. It doesn't matter what it looks like to us, it's that Chinmoy transcendental place. And Gurudev has spent like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Western dollars to what do you call it?
Renovate?
Renovate many, many holy places. Like what? Like Kaliyagat? Like what? Brahmakund?
Brahmakund, that they used to be a trash thing, and then they cleared it out. And
Oh.
It's been a long time, but I remember in 2012 when I went, there was like
2012, Murti
a
saying.
cool, beautiful Murti of Brahma, and it was all done out really beautiful, but I
Really?
don't know since then.
Had so much renovation done at Brahmakund and Suryakund.
And
Sometimes Surabikund, that's it. And sometimes I would see these like very poor, dilapidated looking villagers that he'd invited. This was once in the courtyard of Gopinath Bhavan. And then he'd call them over to him and give them this big fat wad of money, of rupees, to renovate their place.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that Gurudev was given the title Yuga Acharya, because he's a great Acharya of Gaudiya Vaishnavism and Radha Krishna, but also because he renovated all the places. Not all, but many of the places.
Like Sanatana Goswami and so.
Yeah, like Sanatana Goswami, like Rupa Goswami, like the other Manjaris. And Vasanti and I were there on that day, I think it was 2004. 2006 you were there, and they gave him this yellow, shiny kind
Like
of
this.
shutter, and it was just a big, big festival in Vrindavan with all the big heads, and religious heads, and managerial heads, institutional heads, and they gave him a big plaque. And what did he lecture on? Don't think that Radha and Krishna are married. And he proved the superiority of Paramore Ras.
Yeah, that plaque actually has a whole long explanation of all the reasons why they call them these Acharya, isn't it?
Okay, so here we are with Srila Gurudev in Nandagaon. We just flew here by Hanuman's mercy, and here we are in Nandagaon with Srila Gurudev on Gopastami.
इसी प्रकार से ये सब लीलाओं का स्थान है। हम लोग ऊपर चलकर नंद बाबा का स्थान और उद्धव इत्यादि का दर्शन करते हैं। गौ सफेद आरत से स्थान उदयपुर में ब्रह्मा एवं शंकर बहुत दिन धरे तपस्या एवं कृष्ण आराधना करेছিলেন। तब कृष्ण पंडित हुए তা থেকে বলেছিলেন যে তোমরা কি চাও, तुम लोग क्या चाहते हो? তখন ব্রহ্মা जी বলেছিলেন যেখানে আপনার প্রিয়া বিভিন্ন প্রকারে ক্রীড়া করেন সেই ব্রজধামগুলিতে যেন তাহার লীলা আমার উপরে যেন আমি যেন পাথর পাহাড় হয়ে জন্মগ্রহণ করিয়া তাহার উপরে তাহার লীলা বিরাজ। তখন বললেন যে एवं वस्तु ऐसा ही हो। তখন তিনি ব্রহ্মগিরি ব্রহ্ম পর্বত হয়ে দর্শনাতে তিনি জন্ম লাভ করেন। আর এখানে নন্দীশ্বর শঙ্কর মহাদেব তিনি ভগবানের পরম ভক্ত। তিনি তার নিকটে প্রার্থনা করলেন যে আমি চাই যে আপনার চরণধুলি আমার মস্তকে সবসময় পড়ুক এবং আপনার ধন নন্দ বাবার ধন যেন আমার উপরেতে হোক। তখন যে এমন বস্তু ऐसा ही। তখন এইখানেতে শঙ্করী মহাদেব এই পর্বত হয়ে তিনি যেন নন্দীশ্বর তাহার নাম দিলেন। নন্দ বাবা প্রথমে তার পূর্বানুক্রমে এইখানে থাকতেন। একজন রাজা ছিলেন, তার নাম ছিল বাজামি। তার দুইটি পত্নী, দুইটি পত্নী মধ্যে এক ছিলেন জালিনী আর এক ছিলেন ক্ষত্রিয়ানী। पर्जन्य माने की मेघ जो वर्षा करे। আর একজনের যে ক্ষত্রিয়ানী ছিলেন তার থেকে পুত্র হলেন, তিনি তার নাম হলো সুষে। দুজন ভাই লাগলেন, একটি क्षत्रियानी गर्भवती थे और एक जन ग्वालिनी गर्भवती थे। तो ये दोनों भाई लगते हैं। नंद इसके बाद में पर्जन्य के पुत्र हुए नंद महाराज, उपानंद, नंद, सुनंद, अभिनंद, आनंद, 5 जन पुत्र। अब सुसेने पुत्र हैं वसुदेव महाराज। तहाँ बड़ो भाई लागते उग्रसेन, তিনি অন্য মাতা থেকে উৎপন্ন। তাদের সঙ্গে বেশ কুটুম্বগিরি ছিল। পরবর্তীকালেতে নন্দ থেকে হলেন কৃষ্ণ আর বসুদেব মহারাজ সুসেনের পুত্র, তার থেকে ওইখানে কৃষ্ণ এবং বলদেব হলেন। আবার এর মধ্যে বহু রকমের রহস্য আমি বারবার বলেছি। এইসব কৃষ্ণ কিন্তু আংশিক রূপেতে বসুদেব দেবকী গর্ভেতে ऐश्वर्य भाव धारण করে ওখানেতে আবির্ভূত হলেন। আর নন্দ ভবনেতে যশোদার গর্ভে থেকে জন্মলীলা প্রকাশ করে এক সময়তে যুগপৎ দুজনের আবির্ভাব হল। ওইখানে আবির্ভাব, এখানেতে জন্মলীলা, ওখানে হলো কিরকম হয়েছে। এখানে পূর্বে তারা বসবাস করতেন পর্জন্য, কিন্তু তার 5 জন ছেলে বলেন সব ছেলেদেরকে বিবাহ দিয়েছেন। सब लड़कों की शादी कर दी। नंद बाबा भी की शादी यशोदा जी से भी, किंतु सबको होने पर भी सबको तो पुत्र हुआ 4 भाइयों को, किंतु नंद बाबा को कोई पुत्र नहीं। नंद बाबा को छेले हलो ना। अनेक दिन যদি নাতি হোক নন্দ বাবার ছেলে হোক। বয়স তার বাড়তে লাগলো, তিনি প্রৌঢ়াবস্থা প্রাপ্ত হলেন, 50 বছরের প্রায় বয়স হয়ে আসলো, কিন্তু তার কোনো পুত্র নাই। তখন এইখানে যে একটি বন আছে নিকটেতে, তার নাম সে আশিসেশ্বর মহাদেব। আশিসেশ্বর মহাদেবের নিকটেতে ওইখানেতে তিনি প্রতিদিন স্নান করেন আর ওই শঙ্করের আরাধনা করতে লাগেন। আরাধনা করতে 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 শঙ্কর সন্তুষ্ট হলেন। তিনি তো দেখলেন এই নন্দ বাবার নিত্য পুত্র এই কৃষ্ণ, তখন আমার বলতে দোষ কি, আমি বলে দিই। তখন তিনি বলে দিলেন যে হ্যাঁ, তোমার নাতি হবে খুব সুন্দর, আর জগতের মধ্যে সেটি প্রসিদ্ধ হবে, নারায়ণের সমান তার পূর্ণ হবে, পরম সুন্দর, সকলকে আকর্ষণ করবে, তুমি কোনো চিন্তা করো না। তখন সেই বর নিয়ে অত্যন্ত প্রসন্ন হলেন। এইখানে তিনি ফিরলেন, কিন্তু এখানে কেশি দৈত্যের যেরকম হতে অত্যাচার বাড়তে লাগলো, অসুরগণের অত্যাচার বাড়তে লাগলো। শেষ পর্যন্ত এখানকার গরুবর সব ঘাস চড়ে নিল। গলাদের তো চাই, গোপদের চাই ঘাস গরুর জন্য, আর খাবার জন্য জল চাই, আর তাদের কোনো প্রয়োজন নেই। এই জন্য কৃষি দপ্তরে নানা প্রকারের সে অত্যাচার হতে লাগলো, তখন সে চর পাঠাইতে লাগলো। আর এদিকে দেখলেন যে সেখানকার ঘাসগুলি সব শেষ হয়ে এসেছে। অতএব বিচার করলেন নন্দ বৈঠক, নন্দ বাগেরটা আছে, ওইখানে বসে বিচার হলো যে কি করা যায়। তখন দেখলেন এখানে আর থাকা চলে না, আমরা চলি এখন যাই মহাবনেতে। ওইখানে নিকটে যমুনা নদী প্রবাহিত, সুন্দর বন, বিশাল তার এরিয়া, তার নামই হচ্ছে মহাবন। গরুগুলিকে চড়বার জন্য প্রচুর ঘাস রয়েছে, কোনো উৎপাত নাই, কিছু নাই, চলো ওখানে যাই। বিশ্বভানু মহারাজ তার মিত্র ছিলেন, তিনি বলতে বাবা তোমরা যদি যাও তাহলে আমিও সঙ্গে চলি। নন্দ বাবার ছিল কত গরু? 9 লাখ। আইনা ছিল 11 লক্ষ। সব প্রকারের নন্দ বাবার থেকে তিনি কমান বড়। এখন তারা দুজনই করে দিয়ে ইনি চলে গেলেন মহাবনেতে, আর উনি চলে গেলেন পাশেতে, তার শ্বশুরাল ছিল। তখন তিনি চলে গেলেন রাওলেতে, ওখানে থাকতে লাগলেন। কুछ समय পরেতে, অল্প সময় পরে কৃষ্ণের ওইখানেতে প্রাদুর্ভাব হয়, ওইখানে লীলা প্রকাশ করে। এবং 15 দিন পরে শ্রীমতী কৃতিকা সুন্দরী গর্ভেতে শ্রীমতী রাধিকার জন্ম হয়, অথবা কমল পুষ্পেতে, যেরকম আমি বর্ণন করেছিলাম ওখানে रावलेते যমুনা स्नान करते विश्वभानु महाराज राधिका के प्राप्त हुए, उनको राधिका को मिली और उनको लेकर के उनको दे दिया कृतिका जी। अब ये 15 दिन की छोटी बड़ी है, लीलाएं फिर सब हो गई। फिर वहां से जब देखा जे पुतना और तृणावर्त, शकटासुर ये सब उत्पात करने लग गए, जमलार्जुन भंजन हुआ, उसमें भी कृष्ण के विपत्ति की बातें हुई। सोचा जो अब यहाँ नहीं रहना है, बस वहां से गायों को लेकर के, अपने पूरे परिवार को लेकर के कृष्णचंद्र जी को पिता नंद बाबा चले गए छठ ठीक कराने, वहीं पर अपना बनाया नगर बसाया। गाड़ियों से ही नगर चलता था। ब्रज माने की ब्रज, ब्रज की इति ब्रज माने चलती, चलता है। गाड़ियों पर ले लिया सामान, गायों का हाथ दिया, बच्चों को ले लिया, परिवार के साथ में चले गए। जहाँ गए बस वहां पर ठहर गए। इसी तरह से ये सब गोकुल है, इसका भी नाम गोकुल है। जहाँ जहाँ गायों को लेकर के गोकुल, कुल माने समूह, गायों को लेकर के गायों को, गो माने गोवत्स, गो माने गो, गो माने गोपी, सब लोगों को लेकर के चलते थे। तो कृष्ण छत्तीकरा में पहुंचे और वो पासी में राल ग्राम में फिर वहां पर पहुंचे। फिर वहां से राधा कुंड इत्यादि पास में रहे, फिर वहां से काम्यवन को आए।
To be continued tomorrow. We're staying at Nandagaon today. Yay. See you tomorrow. Bhogarti ki jai.
Jai.
Jai. Shri Shri Gauratai ki jai. Shri Gopastami ki jai. Shri Radharani and Srinivasa ki jai. Shri Radha Govardhana ki jai.
Jasomati nandano Brajavarano Jasomati Jai
Nitya Vishnu Om Vishnu Parahamsa Parikrama Ashtakara Sadashishimad Shri Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Shri Gurudev Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Om Vishnu Ashtakara Sadashishimad Shri Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Om Vishnu Ashtakara Sadashishimad Shri Bhakti Vedanta Trivikram Goswami Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Om Vishnu Ashtakara Sadashishimad Shri Gaur Govinda Goswami Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Om Vishnu Ashtakara Sadashishimad Srila Bhakti Vigyana Bharati Goswami Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Om Vishnu Paramahasa Paribraja Ki Jai Ashtakara Sadashishimad Srila Bhakti Bhalavati Goswami Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Om Vishnu Ashtakara Sadashishimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Om Vishnu Ashtakara Sadashishimad Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Om Vishnu Ashtakara Sadashishimad Srila Bhakti Vaibhava Puri Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Om Vishnu Ashtakara Sadashishimad Srila Bhakti Pramoda Puri Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Om Vishnu Ashtakara Sadashishimad Srila Bhakti Jivan Jnana Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Om Vishnu Ashtakara Sadashishimad Srila Bhakti Gaurav Vaikanas Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Om Vishnu Ashtakara Sadashishimad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Om Vishnu Ashtakara Sadashishimad Acharya Keshaya Srila Bhakti Pragyana Kesha Goswami Maharaj Param Gurudev Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Om Vishnu Ashtakara Sadashishimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Mahabhagavat Srila Gaurikshore Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Sabna Goswami Srila Satyananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur Ki Jai Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Sri Jagannath Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Sri Gaurivedanta Acharya Srila Baladev Bhushan Guru Ki Jai Sri Rasik Sirmani Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Sri Naratam Srinivasa Syamarani Bhushai Ki Jai Sri Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai Sri Gauri Rupa Guru Var Ki Jai Sri Rupa Sanatan Bhakti Rakana Sri Jiva Gopavata Das Rakana Sagar Sai Guru Ki Jai Shri Srup Namara Ramandari Shri Gaur Parashara Ki Jai Namashar Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Ishwara Puripad Madhavendra Puripad Ki Jai Prem Se Gaho Se Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Hirvaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrani Ki Jai Shri Adri Mayapur Shri Madhadeep Gojumadi Madhadeep Kodeep Rudajeep Jaladeep Madhajumadeep Ridajeep Atmak Shri Shri Navadeep Dama Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dvara Savaraka Shri Braja Mandala Ki Jai Shri Radha Kund Shama Kundi Munaga Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya Devi Ki Jai Shri Gopashwa Mahadevi Ki Jai Shentra Mandala Jagat Puri Dham Ki Jai Shri Jagat Bhari Subhajri Surishwan Shakti Ki Jai Sarva Vigvanasana Shri Nishingri Bhagavani Ki Jai Bhakti Pavar Shri Paramanaj Ki Jai Shri Samadaya Charadam Charadachara Ki Jai Akaramatra Shri Chaitanya Mara Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Mandir Lasha Ki Jai Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Ki Jai Samagata Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari 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 Bol Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai Radha Govinda Ki Jai Shri Gurudev Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Maharani Ki Jai
What happened here? What
Find
time?
me on the mic, please, so people can hear.
To when 9 or?
Hare Krishna. So this evening we're going to be gathering like 6:45 and we'll be doing kirtan for 2 hours from 7 to 9. So everyone is welcome to join and invite their friends. Hare Krishna.
You might be able to make it toward the end, last word.
Anybody have like 8 hours to cover your points? No,
Who's a special guest? It said special guest on the thing. No.
Didi.
Okay.
She's gonna join us for a little bit. And then also.
Hey, just still that side of the
BJ coming up?
Because he could probably he's from the Hawaii project, so he'll have to of course he's one of the
Okay.
I think whatever you want to
I have an issue with the status quo that no one does anything.
But everyone's gonna do this, if you're not together, it's not like one person.
Yeah.
For now, mantras like whatever. Samashtikas, for now, mantra. Meaning that it's become a no-brainer convention that whenever we give pranams in front of the altar, everyone says Vrindai Tulasi. But when you give pranams, you're supposed to give an appropriate pranam. So if you're giving pranams to your Thakur, there's mantras like Guruve, Guru Chandrai, Radhikai, Didale, Krishna, Krishna Bhaktai, Hari Bhaktai. But everyone's got this thing that like, oh, it's time to say, you know, it's like, yeah, right? So when you give pranams to your Guru, what are you going to do? Vrindai Tulasi, what are you going to do?
I'm sorry, Prabhuji.
There's always a mantra for the person you're giving pranam to, right? That's what I'm saying. But it's just how society is. People just the name of the game is no brainer. That's how groups of people work. No brainers. Everyone goes. Where is that? Not only that, every time we do Giriraj Parikrama, nobody knows one pranam. Me, Didi, sure. Maybe one or two other people, they know a pranam mantra for Giriraj and they give it. Otherwise, everyone is just saying. I'm not a teacher here.
You can do a Hamachalisa
I used to know.
You probably know one Giriraj pranam mantra.
I know one or two.
Which?
One, Namaste Giriraj, Shri Gopastami, Shri Krishna.
Okay, that's good. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then like verses from other ashtakams, but that's like an actual pranam mantra.
Well, those are pranam. What? You mean, you know, Nijanigata Nivasa? Which ones? Pramadamana Lila.
Well, like Krishna Prasadi, Narasimha Shailas, Rajavakma,
That works. There's two of them in the songbook, which is one would be Govad, you know, Jati Sai Kulari Rajo, Yogo Tika Milito Harirasavaya, Krishnena Shakramaka Bhanga Katajitoya, Saptah Matsukara Padmatari
Shri Govardhana Kojo Mede Naimane Mena Manua Adimane Mena Manua Let's go. Shri Govardhana Kojo Mede Naimane Mena Manua. Okay, Maharani.
That's a funny question. Does it have a funny so that I and it's by the way, Manji, with vertical issues, I'm sorry, with vertical issues, the reason people get vertical is because they're inner ear, and also because I have ear problems for 40 years now. I can't hardly hear because my ringing is so loud. Decibels up there 12, 15 all day long. Most people get by. I thought I was going crazy. But anyway, yes, but when you're what is it that we get out of electric lights? When your electric lights are low, your vertical will kick in hard. If you keep electric lights up, because my body won't accept electric lights out of water, so I have to drink Pedialyte to bring my electric lights up. When my electric lights, and they medicated me for many years. They medicated me for vertigo, but all it was my electric lights were low. Because when I got to learn how to bring my electric lights up, I had no more vertigo. When I did it, because of the inhaler and the electric lights were low. So there was that night, and I'm sorry for. So there was that night, and it had happened, and so I got in this bigger enough where I didn't want life no more. So I was taking my life. And there's a lot about me, and so, I went into the bushes and camouflaged myself, and then I put a shotgun in my mouth, and I pulled the trigger.
Really?
Yes, and it went off.
I know.
Yeah, it just boom. What had happened at that moment, I was in the backyard and I had the shotgun and the police were surrounding me because I had a reputation, a bad reputation, so I won't get into all the stories, but anyway, they were there, not to save me, but to take me out.
That thing.
At that time, yes, they came to eliminate me off the planet.
Oh wow.
Yes, because I was a threat to them for many years, and they couldn't catch me for many years. So this day I decided to give up my life.
Because you don't know what to do, you just don't know how to clean it up or whatever.
Right.
You're a freak out.
So I decided to give up my life because nobody can help me,
Yeah.
and they can't catch me.
Yeah.
So since they can't catch me, because usually a criminal, when he wants to stop doing what he does, he devises a way that he can be caught.
Yeah.
Because he can't stop himself. So he devises a way to be caught and then put in prison, and then prison slows him down.
It's true.
This is how people do. But nobody could ever catch me. You would have to understand who I am first. If you ever want to see the energy I have, there's a piece of property over here that had a mobile home. A 70-foot by 14-foot wide mobile home. In 2 hours, you need to go look at it now.
Why?
There's nothing left of it.
You destroyed it.
Out of passion. Out of a lot of passion. But there's no piece left anywhere on the frame, nowhere. You gotta understand, it's a house like this, and in 2 hours, one person destroys it completely to crumbles.
Wow.
That's almost impossible. But through my passion, I have to go exert it sometimes, because I get too wound up. So anyway, and that's what had happened. This night I got wound up, I let loose, and then the result was that. So there I'm in the backyard, and I'm about to tell you, kind of impossible. Because first of all, if you pull a trigger on a gun, you would never be able to
get out.
No, because the bullet would be too fast, right? Okay. So when I pulled the trigger on the shotgun, I could feel the heat in the barrel.
And you didn't see anything?
No, wait a minute. I could feel the heat in the barrel. So in my mind, I was thinking, it'll just be a second and my head will be gone. But you understand, that's too much time. The time to think, it would just be a second. So think about it. Time had changed at that moment, as we know time. So you know time from here to there.
Yeah, but it's
that's
not like
time.
that. No, time is different.
So you see, I experienced this. What time is different many, many times now. So
after that?
Yes, many.
Yeah, I understand.
Many trips. Even Garuda came down and picked me up and flew me.
It's like you can see the spiritual world doesn't make difference.
My life is very strange. You know, I mean, not many people can tell you that Garuda came and picked them up and flew them to Krishna's throne.
To Krishna's abode?
Yes, Garuda came and got me personally.
Who Guru?
Garuda.
Garuda.
I don't know all these names.
Yeah.
Garuda.
The big bird.
Yes, came down.
Vishnu.
Came down and picked me up in this body and took me to Krishna. In this body. Not in a spiritual body. He came down in a temple one day, in a temple room I was praying, and he opened up the ceiling, and he came down and grabbed
Nobody
me.
saw.
No, it was in a private temple room. And then he picked me up and he flew me to Krishna and put me before Krishna's feet. Okay, but we won't get past the story. So I'm in my body and I pull the shotgun and I feel the barrel get hot, and I thought, it just be a few seconds, my head would be gone. And I heard this voice, For I am the head, and you are the body. Without my, I am the head, and you are the body. Without your head, I cannot use your body. Then all of a sudden, the shotgun came out of my mouth and blew up beside my face. When the fire came out of the barrel, the police emptied their revolvers into that area where I was at. 49 times they shot at me.
Whoa.
And I got shot 49 times, and 2 bullets stopped me. A shotgun blew my arm off, and 357 went into my abdomen and exploded the top of my heart. Just went through my heart and blew it off.
Did you feel?
No, I don't.
No, the person didn't feel.
You won't feel no pain. It goes too fast.
Means that when someone dies, doesn't feel pain.
No, not
There's no
whatsoever.
pain.
There's no pain.
After, yes, when you come back, you feel much pain.
If you come back.
Yeah.
If you come back to the body, then you will feel pain.
Yeah.
But if you leave the body, you don't feel no pain. And I left the body because I had no heart no more. So when the heart stopped, there's no more blood circulating.
Yeah.
So the brain stops. When the brain stops, as they say, if the brain goes without blood or oxygen, 3 to 10 minutes, the brain dies.
Yeah.
My brain, even just in that incident and on the way to the hospital, was over 25 minutes without blood or oxygen. When I got to the
I
hospital,
was born without my heart stopped.
Oh.
I was green,
yeah.
and I have things too.
Okay, so when we got to the hospital, I was brain dead. I was brain dead, not clinically, but anyway, I was brain dead. I had no
This is
brain.
what they say, but you know that you are not dead.
No, I was brain dead. That's what they say medically. I don't know what to say. I don't know nothing about
Do
it.
you remember
I remember
you went?
everything.
Where you went, or you remember everybody talking?
I remember everything.
Everybody talking, but you don't do
Okay,
anything.
so I'm gonna tell you the physical aspects, then I'll tell you the spiritual aspects.
Okay.
First, the spiritual, I went there, they said I was brain dead, and they said, this experiment. So they went to my mother and they said, we wanna do this experiment. So we're gonna do this experiment, you sign a paper. Now, when we do this experiment, it succeeds, we're not looking to make him live again. We're just using his body and the moment for an experiment. So they experiment on his heart, they put it back together, they put it back in the body. And then I had no brain waves. So they say he's brain dead. The experiment came out good.
Yeah, because they want to test the heart.
Right. So the heart came out good, but the brain was dead. So they were about to take it back out of my body and stick it on the shelf and say, okay, now the experiment is good. So they gave 56 hours for that moment. On the 54th hour, I woke up. From being brain dead, it's called flatliner. From being a flatliner, no brain waves, for 54 hours, I woke up. This is impossible.
Impossible.
And I woke up, and the first thing I said, hey, you got something to eat around here? I'm hungry. When you look in testimonies in the Bible, every time Jesus raised somebody from the dead, he either ordered food for them or they asked for food.
Exactly.
Prashadam is a very important thing.
Very.
That's why Christ ordered food for him. Because he blessed the food and he knew it was prashadam.
Yeah.
Lazarus was in the grave for 3 days. And he was starting to stink. And as soon as Christ raised him from the dead, through Krishna's powers, he ordered prashadam for him. Eat, he must eat, you know. So, what had happened was I was in the backyard, I'm surrounded, things are getting heavy, I pull the trigger. I hear the voice, for I am the head, you are the body, without your head I cannot use your body. All of a sudden I hear a loud boom. Next thing I know, it's dark. It's real dark. Now, I have a personality that's really strange because the more wild things get, the calmer I get.
Me too.
To the point where I've even seen people's heads come off and I still get calm. I've seen arms come off. I've seen brains be splattered on the road.
Where?
I was in some bad places. I was a bad man at one time. And I was in very bad places. I come from a demonic family. Okay? So I've seen a lot of bad things. But I get real calm. It wouldn't disturb me. So now I'm sitting there, it's dark. I'm not bothered. So I look around. Okay, it's dark. And I touch the grass, I don't feel no grass. I touch my legs, I don't feel no legs. I touch my face and I realize, excuse the language, but I said, oh shit, I did it. I fucked around and killed myself. I did it.
You feel that you're dead.
No, I know I was dead. There was no body. But the thing is, my consciousness continued. It never stops. I can guarantee you right now, as we're looking each other's in the eyes, and I got your focus completely, if you were to pass your body right now, you would have two memories. You would remember you were just talking to me.
And the other one, that I am alive. Is
No.
that right?
The other one is you'll have consciousness to remember that you were talking to me. And you'll recognize that. When you pass this body, remember this. As soon as the body passes, your consciousness don't stop.
I know that.
It doesn't go to sleep, it doesn't die.
Never
You're
sleeps.
just off guard because you don't understand where you're going or where you're at. That's all.
That's all.
Nobody goes to the same place. We all go different places because our journeys to here
Are different. We just cross here
That's all.
for a little bit.
That's all.
Mhm.
But our journeys are different.
Yeah.
So we go different places. So I can't say that you're going to be in an all dark place. I can't say you won't be at Krishna's feet. I don't know where you're going to go. But I do know this. The consciousness that you have right at this moment and the awareness will not stop. Just remember that. That's why it's important for us to be chanting when we pass. Or to be thinking of Krishna. Because our consciousness don't stop. So it takes us to our next life. It sets us up. So if we're thinking of Krishna at the time of death, our consciousness will go to Krishna.
That's true.
If we don't, then we got problems. Because we've been having problems for a long, long
Yeah.
time. So I'm sitting there and I realize it's not dark. I mean, it's dark. So I touch and I realize, when I touch my face, I realize, oh shit, I did it. Then I said these words. Because, give me your hand, I'll show you. What do you feel? Warm, human, flesh?
No,
What do you feel?
I can't feel something.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
You feel that? I don't know. I don't feel.
That's okay. But you understand, you still have touch. And I realized that I was never going to touch another human being. When I realized that, I said these words. I said, for if there is a God, because I never believed in God. So I said, if there is a God in heaven, for I need you now that I ever need you in my life. And that's when a light appeared in the area that I was in. Not a real bright light. Just like in a third world country, standing on a street light, you know how the beam will just be around the bottom of the pole? But it won't be out real light out there, but it'll just be around. That's what it was like.
Effulgence.
Yeah, just around that, around where I was at. And then out of the darkness come this beautiful. I couldn't make out who it was, but it was like looking through a shower glass door. You could see the image, but you can't see the people.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this beautiful person shows up on the edge, and he says these words. He says, "Ralph, you're not going to die. My name is Ralph." Well, now it's Rock Talk. But he says, "Ralph, you're not going to die. You're going to resume the
How
same."
old you were the book?
I was
How
never.
old?
For Ralph, you're not going to die. The scars for testimony. He goes, I want you to go back and tell the people of the world that my son's coming and coming soon, and for them to get right with me. Because see, what Christians don't understand is it's in their scripture. They don't see it. Christ is okay with everybody.
Yeah.
He's okay with everybody. He didn't come for himself. He came to introduce us to Krishna.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
This is what he did in my life.
Yes, he introduced you to Krishna. This was,
First I was Christian.
yes,
And then he took me to
Yes.
Krishna.
because he wants you to
Nobody
know.
goes to my Father without me.
That's right.
I
So-
always believe that.
So Christ took you to the next level. Okay, now you're going to learn all the pastimes. Now you become a
Christianized.
devotee. Because you're devoted to Krishna now. You're devoted to God. That's what he wants.
Some say Christos
Yes.
Krishna is consciousness.
Yes, Krishna consciousness. And you're practicing deeper now than Christians practice.
Yeah.
Because Christians practice on the material level.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah, a human level. Yeah.
Yes.
Just learn
Well,
things. We still learn. We still learn things.
Yes.
We still learn.
But everybody goes through these changes from the beginning to the end. So, he says, I want you to go back and tell the people. So, when I came back, I knew nothing. I was 25 years old,
Wow.
and I was a multi-millionaire. Yes, I used to make $30 million a year.
Really?
Yes, and
Wow.
and I was very wealthy, and I knew nothing. And I didn't even know how to spell. I didn't even know how to read. The only books I've read so far in my lifetime is the Bible, the Concordance, Ellen G. White, and now the Bhagavad Gita. These are the only books I read. I don't read anything else. I've never read anything else. So when I got back, I couldn't read, and I thought, after I got out of trouble and I was bonded out and I was released, then I thought, what am I supposed to do, God? How am I supposed to know you? So all I knew to do was go to this prayer room, and I went to this prayer room for the next 2.5 years, for 12 hours a day, and I'd sit in that prayer room from 4:30 in the afternoon until 4:30 in the morning, and I'd cry to God. And so why are you picking me to tell the world? I can't tell the world. Who am I? I'm nobody. And this is 33 years ago, and I can't stop crying yet.
I know.
33 years I've been crying. I cry every day, all day long sometimes. I don't go to public because the mercy's so overwhelming.
Yeah, I know.
And this is all, it just keeps getting better and better.
You received the grace, God's grace.
Big time. So.
Yeah. And they open here all the, wow.
Yeah.
I know you showed me already. Wow. That's a big story.
Yeah, it is big.
And how is your wife?
She's good now.
She's good.
She lived through the whole thing, but it hurt her mind real bad. She went to drugs and crack and meth, meth and crack for the rest of her life. That's the way she went out, I went the other way. I didn't go to the drugs, I just went, I cried to God. And I went towards God, and my family went the other way. That's the way they chose for this lifetime. But like it says, like I've been learning, a Vaishnava cannot save himself. A Brahmin cannot save himself with all his austerities.
Yeah.
But what is it, a Vaishnava who cries out to Krishna can save his whole family by surrendering to Krishna.
Yeah.
So my job is important because I have to surrender.
I know.
Well, my whole family who I love depends on me because they're all demonic. Yeah, very demonic.
Yeah.
So, but that can change.
Yeah.
So
by your example, they can change.
But my will of wanting to know Krishna, love Krishna.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to love Krishna. They want to get to know him, and it's all fun.
Yeah.
But who really wants to love Krishna?
And it's not easy.
No.
When you discover that Krishna is behind everything, even the bad.
Everything. That's right. Even the bad.
And when they get that far, they want just the fun, not to understand that.
Right. That's right. Power is a very strange thing. You know that. Power in this world, and power that Krishna empowers you with, is a very hard thing to keep or have.
To keep, yes.
Or to have. To be empowered by Krishna is not an easy thing. Srila
Prabhupada, oh my God. I was crying when I was reading, I didn't come here to the Vyasa Puja, I didn't go anywhere, but all day I read, and at my house I read too, and I was crying. I could not read. I was, I was reading to my husband. Adwaita is my husband. Adwaita Das.
No.
I was reading for him. He likes me to read because I read very very slow.
Yeah.
I like to read with the heart, not reading just no. Doesn't make sense to me. And I was feeling Gurudeva's mood when he was talking about Prabhupada, the difficulty inside of himself. He took sannyasi. He took sannyasi by a dream.
Yes.
He dreamed that someone giving, like Bhakti Kalyana Kesha, someone was giving him sannyasi, was asking him to take sannyasi. And he took the dream and he did.
And that's all.
70-something-year-old come here with nothing. America, who knows? I came here with money. And I was miserable because we need to have money here.
And could you imagine he came with nothing?
Nothing. Just with a little suitcase.
It's called faith.
What he was in his head was like, oh my God.
And then he became empowered. And look how empowered he became.
And also, his disciples that everybody criticized, that time was them that gave him shelter. Even that they did evil.
It doesn't matter.
You
know,
for God knows.
Remember what the Father Son says, it says no matter what atrocities
you have done,
a devotee does, he's still dear to Krishna.
Yes.
So if he's dear,
every soul.
So if he's dear to Krishna, why should we push him away? Because you know why? Because we're scared. Most times, being scared, being afraid of something.
We do things.
Yes, because we're always afraid. We're afraid of the unknown. Open your door at nighttime when it's completely dark and there's no moon. You'll be scared. Just to open
Not
the door.
anymore.
Well, that's because you have Krishna now. You understand that. You understand what most common people are scared.
And I know when I know someone that is bad, I can feel you are never bad.
No.
You, even in your bed, you aren't bad because you were guided by this, but you don't have that anymore. Just your soul there, leave that. Your soul just leave there. That body is gone.
Well, I know that. But it's been a long haul learning that.
Now you just need to, how you say, because you have so much love, because you understood that all this is too much. I have that too. I have that. And it's too much. Now you need to, all these years, you is still digesting because it's too big.
It is too big.
One time, God gave me that understanding and it was so painful over here. It was like opening this part of my
Yeah, you're right. Your third eye.
Yeah. It was like so painful and I cried. I could feel the pain over here. The pain was here.
Yeah.
And it made me cry like that. It's so painful. But now I can understand.
Well, I have one more journey to go. And so I have the didis come to me.
Who?
Didis. I don't go get them. They come to me. They come to me. The last of the, take, the lion man was his name, Nishinade. Another one came to me just the other day. Disappeared. Nishinade. He's in a lion form, but he's given grace. He's got 4 hands. He's hold one up, the conch shells, and the other one. But he's got the hood up and everything, and he's got the lion face. That's the last one just came to me just recently, that one. But didis come to me. They call out for me and they come to me. The last set of didis that came that had really importance is Srila Prabhupada didis. He took care of these 2 didis, Chaitanya and Nityananda, himself personally. And they were lost for a long time.
I don't know where they are.
Do you know where they're at? Where are they at?
Because he gave to Hridayananda Maharaj, and Hridayananda Maharaj gave to someone that's my friend.
Who's your friend?
She's, I cannot say, she
Okay.
will not like that I tell that.
Okay.
Because it's like a secret.
And they came to her?
They came because Hridayananda was her Guru Maharaj, and he gave it to her.
Hridayananda
Hridayananda Maharaj is a Prabhupada disciple, he's a sannyasi.
And he gave her
He gave her Chaitanya Nityananda. and she never put clothes on them, and she said, no, they are Rajabas, they don't dress.
And she still got them to
She
this day?
got them, yeah. And I said, yeah, she said, this belongs to Prabhupada, was Prabhupada.
Okay. Well,
And they came to you, how they are? They are like this?
Yes, they're about this tall, they're brass.
Yeah, they are
about this
brass,
tall.
yeah.
And they're brass, and they came to me, and, so I brought them to another lady to keep, because I couldn't keep them, too.
You have it?
I don't have, this other lady has them on her altar.
Oh, the deities came to you,
Yes.
and who told you that was Prabhupada?
The man who lives in the house, his name is Sarva.
Sarva, who's Sarva?
Sarvasati.
I know him.
He has one arm, and he's crippled, and and he wrote the first magazine.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Sarva, yeah.
Yes. So I built a bathroom for him, and I took care of him. And then while they were unpacking the things, he told me the story about a set of didis that he has. He says, I have a set of didis that Srila Prabhupada gave to me. And I said, how did you obtain them? He said, back in Hawaii, back when he was in Hawaii, there was a couple who wanted to go to India. And when they wanted to go to India, they didn't have the money. So Srila Prabhupada came to him and said, would you finance them going to India? And I will give you these didis. So he gave Srila Prabhupada the money for these couple to go to India, and Srila Prabhupada gave
the
him
deity
to him.
But was his personal deity? I don't think he was.
I don't know if it was his personal deeds. I just know they were Chaitanya deeds. They're very old. And he gave it to him. So when I heard the story, I wanted to see these deities. So I said, Sarva, where's the deities at? He goes, they're somewhere packed in a box. I don't know where they're at. They've been packed away for a couple of years. So I took care of Sarva for about 6 weeks, and then he went back to the hospital, and now he's back in the restaurant for him, probably for the rest of his days. And when he left, I was there, and I was leaving the house that day, and I hear, hey, well, let me back up. Actually, another set of Chaitanya.
How many deities you have?
No, just these two came, right? I don't have many, but just these two came. And I went up to the altar, because when I heard they came, I thought those were them. And I went, and I opened up excited. He goes, no, these aren't the ones. He says, the ones are still coming. So I shut the altar, you know. So when he left, a couple days later, and I get ready to leave the house, I hear from the altar, hey, you gonna leave us behind? We want to go with you. And I go, wait a minute. Who's talking? So I go up to the altar and they said, yeah, you gonna leave us behind? And they weren't the old set of these, they were the brass, shiny ones. They had come out of the box where they were packed away, and they went up on the altar. So I took them. And I told him when I was riding, I said, you boys can't ride around with me. I said, you gotta have somewhere to stay. I know just a place you can go. And they said, yeah, where? I said, there's a Mataji that I know that her Chaitanya deities, they were Mashay deities. He says, they left. Her husband took them. And when he went to Dominican Republic, that man took them and left her altar empty. And now she's heartbroken. Would you go to her and be on her altar? And they said, yeah, we'll go there. So I took them to the lady, and she said, what? And she was so happy, the lady, because it put that spot in her heart that was empty. And then now they're on her altar. They've been there for 2 years now.
Wow.
So.
And she's taking care of them.
Oh, she makes outfits for them.
Well, then there are 2 golden tides, 2 sets of golden
There's 2
tides.
sets right now. Yeah.
Probably we don't know which
How
one
many
is.
sets?
But this one I believe is the real one because Ridayananda was a sannyasi.
Mataji,
Close to a
it doesn't matter
doesn't
which one,
matter,
because
yeah.
when Srila Prabhupada
touch
touched
them,
come on.
they are.
He bathed them, he did, both sets, he did.
Yes.
So, forget about it. They're
Oh,
both,
I
they're
don't
both,
care. They
yeah,
are.
they're both. So, anyway, so I'm on my last part of my journey. I've been on this trip for a long time, 33 years I've been on this.
Wow, and your heart is good and it's
Oh, I have no problems. Not only that, but just recently, the reason I got initiated, I came in this movement in 7 years ago, and 3 years ago I was passing my body again,
Oh.
Yeah, I have passed, in this material life, I've been passing my body 6 times already. Serious times. And the last time is I had this disease called diverticulitis.
Oh, so you have diverticulitis.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
But then Krishna, well, if you ever listen to the Lashinga Day prayers,
Yeah, the cure
and
everything.
it says cure, and it says
And you
cure
are
my.
chanting Vishnu Kava?
Oh, I chant a lot, yes, and a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, if you ask who Rock Talk is, they'll tell you, oh, he's that crazy guy that chants real loud. I chant real loud.
Uh-huh.
But yes, since I've been chanting that, like I have no diseases no more, and my abdomen is all cured. I had 3,300 holes in my colon from the diverticulitis,
Mm-hmm. A lot of holes. Yeah.
and I have none today.
And you eat everything, don't care?
No, I just eat prasad.
Uh-huh.
On my left side here, on my right side from the bullet, I had scar tissue that would never go away in my small intestine. Everything, they took an x-ray a couple years ago.
Nothing.
They're amazed at everything. Everything is healed completely, brand new. Everything.
You are a live miracle.
Yes. And so, but I don't tell anybody too much because I can't. But I'm on the last part of my journey. When I came to this movement 7 years ago, I was in Miami and I was talking to a fellow named Sid Video.
I know him.
Yeah.
He died.
Yes, I know.
He was so
I
special.
carried him to his death.
Yeah?
Yeah, the day he died, he was in my arms. And he says to me, he comes out of the temple and he's walking sideways. He says, Dr. Rao, I can't make it home. Will you help me? And I said, yes. And he lived right up the street from the temple. So as he was walking to laps, and I picked him up and I said, my friend, this is the last time I will see you. I'm taking you home. And I took him up to his bedroom and I put him on the ground. I put him down and I said, I will see you again, my friend. And I left.
He died in your arms.
I know.
Oh.
He didn't die in my arms. He died a couple days later, but
Uh-huh.
I was the last one.
You feel that he was going to die, yeah?
Yeah, I took him home. But I studied with him for a while before he passed away. I was with his association. That's why I tell you,
Special.
association is very special.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said today, a lot of answers got answered from your one question. I benefited so much from it. You don't understand. You can't even have a clue how much I benefited from it.
Uh-huh.
So, I asked you the video one day and I was learning, and I said, I learned that, do you know the Shinga Day comes to earth every night? Did you know that?
No.
Yes. There's a place in India, there's a certain temple that he touches down every night, and when he touches down, all the demigods from all the universes come to this place every night on earth.
What's the name of that?
I don't know the name of the temple. There's a Back to Head Cotton magazine, and it talks about this boy who was 19 years old who went to see this and went to visit the different Lashinga Day temples, and then he took him to this one, and it's through a forest or something, through a jungle or something, and it's up in the Himalayas somewhere. So, but he touches down every night, and when he touches down, he sets all the woods on fire, and all the demigods, you know, they party all night long. But every night this happens. When I found that out 7 years ago, I looked at his name is Prabhupada Damodar Swami now, but he was Prabhupada Das, and now he's Damodar Swami.
Oh, he's useful.
Huh?
He-
Yeah, he's
he's
his son.
useful,
Yeah. So when I found this out, I said, you know what, Damodar? He was Damodar Swami, Prabhupada Das.
Uh-huh.
I said, you know what Prabhupada does? I said, why am I messing around trying to learn all this stuff? I said, I need to go there and get it over with.
With the Nishihara.
Yeah, just go there. Because
Yeah.
you know, when he touches down, you can't be there when he comes to
Oh,
earth.
yeah. Yeah.
Because when
So
he touches
powerful.
down, he burns everything. So, Damodar Swami says, Prabhupada thus says to me at the time, he says, I'll tell you what, since you found this out, because I was leaving that day, I was going to India, I don't care how I got it. He says, stay in association with devotees for a little while.
Yeah.
And if you come up with the same conclusion years later, he says, then I will okay. So here it is 7 years later, and I come up with the same conclusion. Yes, I've been around devotees for 7 years now, but now in the next year or two, it's time for me to go there. Because the night that he shows up, I will be there in a couple of years, and I will be there when he shows up. So if he burns me up, so what? I get burned up.
You want that?
I have to have it. I have to have it, because you understand, when Krishna told me I have to come back and tell the whole world, the people of the world, that his son Jesus is coming. You see in the Bible it says Jesus will return, but when he returns, he don't return as an angel of mercy. He returns as an angel of revenge, and he's Kalki. See, the Christians don't understand that he's returning, but when Christ returns, he returns as Kalki. That's who the Bible talks about. And he's not coming to save, he's coming to slay the ones who didn't accept his Father. I had to learn all this. But then who am I to go tell the world all this? And who am I? I'm nobody. And the world ain't gonna know. So, if he wants me to do this job, he's gotta help me out. That's all there is to it. Look, Day came to me, now I'm going to him. So if he wants me to do this job, then he's gonna have to do something with me. If he doesn't want me to do the job, he just burn me up. I don't care what.
15 minutes.
If I can do the service, that'll
Well, I
be
gotta
great.
drop you off, basically.
If I don't do the service, oh well. Hare Krishna. You gonna on shop?
Yeah, I think I'm going there.
Sorry.
Nothing? That's
Why don't we
okay.
just picture that?
Oh, no kitchen, no.
I think there's picture.
No problem.
I'm just gonna see what they have there.
No, that's okay. That's okay, Mataji. I'm good.
You don't want it?
No, I'm good.
For later.
No, it's okay. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mataji. Haribo.
Oh, thank you. Alright.
Be able to walk around. Yeah, you're going barefoot. We can wear socks.
My shoes are here though. But I don't think it's wet anymore, right?
If it is, I get my shoes.
I'm not
Won't
worried
make
about
it.
it.
Won't make it.
What's your name, Prabhu? Mahaprabhu Das. Mahaprabhu, wow, nice name.
Disappearance in the Syamarani, so merciful.
Wow, nice. Where are you from?
Originally from Connecticut, I travel around a lot. I keep moving. We're here for 2 weeks and then we're going to Guatemala.
Oh, you're with the Hanuman Project.
Yeah, and Quinceañeras are all kind of one big mobile circus.
Wow, that's cool. How many of you are there?
In his band, there's probably 4 or 5. The same with Quinceañeras, but then we have a bunch of friends doing festivals all over, and
Kind of meet up.
it's just kind of, yeah, because we just spent India together, we did California together, now we're in Miami together. We
Wow.
kind of just mobilize.
I put you on Facebook. I'll put you on again just to get it out there with the thing
Oh,
tonight.
yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah,
I do a lot of advertising on
yeah, let me get you on Facebook that way.
Facebook. Okay,
What's your,
likewise.
what's your name?
Lolita Saki.
Oh, very nice.
Oh,
Look at that. And I know to stay in touch with you.
Yeah.
Because I do get tons of promotion and stuff too. And just
Tons of what?
production and promotion and all that.
Oh,
But also
nice.
like helping them like network and get around.
Oh, wow.
So that's me and my work.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen you. I think I've even talked to you a couple times.
Oh, really?
Look at your messages.
Oh, and that's trying to message myself. That's why. I was looking at you.
Because I would home, I'll put you on.
Yeah, she's
Encourage
in
everyone to
touch.
come.
And I'm curious.
Where are you from originally? Okay.
Oh, my family's from